SAFM, South Africa's news and information leader.
Thanks, Ike. CPI data remains unchanged and Thembelihle residents to turn to the courts. Good morning. The Consumer Price Index has remained unchanged at 5.3% for August, the same as the month before. This was announced by Statistics South Africa and is good news for domestic financial markets and consumers. Cadiz Asset Management Chief Economist Adnan Hardeen says the figure was better than expected. He says CPI was mainly driven by higher food and fuel prices. Hardeen says government administered prices, which raised concern among economists, was rather subdued. Despite the good news, Hardeen says it's more than likely that lending rates will remain unchanged.
As far as interest rates are concerned, no real change with respect to certainly our view on interest rates. And the view remains that the Reserve Bank will probably maintain interest rates at current levels for a considerable period of time.
Residents of Thembelihle informal settlement south of Johannesburg will soon approach the South Gauteng High Court to fight possible eviction. Residents have been warned that they will be moved because their houses are built on dolomite. The area has been the scene of violent protests. Residents went on a rampage demanding RDP houses, among other things. However, Gauteng MEC for Housing Humphrey Memezi said the area cannot be developed, insisting that whether residents like it or not, they will be moved. Geologists say it's a high-risk area. Greg Heath is from the Council of Geoscience.
Thembelihle is in the middle of the southern band that runs through southern Joburg out to the West Rand. Dolomite is a carbonate rock. It's been in the Gauteng area for the best part of 2.3 billion years old, slowly weathering, leading to the formation of caves. It covers some 25% of the province of Gauteng.
The Gauteng government has for the first time held a mass hearing involving communities where service delivery protests recently occurred. This follows a protest at which in some cases turned violent over housing and high electricity prices. The meeting was held at Walter Sisulu Square in Kliptown in Soweto. During the meeting, members of the public complained about all sorts of corruption in the allocation of houses. However, some residents believe that the meeting was a talk shop and what they described as government's PR exercise.
We are very disappointed because today this hearing is here in Kliptown. However, our memorandums are not featured in this agenda.
I'm here because of a house. I don't have a house. I'm 60 years old without a house, 20 years on the waiting list. This meeting is nothing for me.
Overcrowding and understaffing at Smuts Ndamase High School in Libore in the Eastern Cape are forcing learners to stand while being taught. Teaching has also become strenuous. Teachers and parents say they've lost hope that their children will do better in the upcoming matric examinations. There are 16 schools operating as feeder schools to Smuts Ndamase High. School principal Veronica Tseme says overcrowding has become a huge challenge for teachers and learners alike.
Due to many feeder schools that we are having in this circuit, this is circuit 10, only one high school in this circuit, 16 feeder schools that are sending their learners to this school, and bear in mind that they 100% pass. That one make us to be unable to say they cannot come. We have learners 128. We have 10A, B, C combined, that is academic and technical stream. 11A and C, academic and technical stream. 12A and C, academic and technical stream. We also have commerce. We also have general. So there are 5 streams that we are having. The purpose of these streams to let these learners, as many as they are, to be able to be marketable outside.
At least 55 farm workers have sustained minor injuries after a stationary truck slid down an embankment on the R44 near Paarl in the Boerland. Health Department spokesperson Darren Francis says the workers have been taken to various hospitals for treatment.
According to personnel on scene, the truck was standing on the side of the road and slid down into the ditch. All of the injuries sustained by the patients is minor injuries and have been taken to various hospitals.
And finally, further afield, the state prosecutor of the Mexican state Veracruz, Zeneldas Caba, says they've identified the 35 abandoned bodies as having links to organized crime. This as authorities in Mexico say the bodies were found in the back of trucks in the state. Reports say some of the bodies had their hands tied and showed signs of having been tortured. Caba explains.
Alrededor de las 17 horas, en el paso a desnivel de...
At around 17 hours on the underpass of Boulevard Ruiz Cortines and Boca del Rio, the bodies were abandoned in 2 trucks. We've begun the corresponding investigations and have identified some of the bodies and have confirmed that they all had prior criminal records and were involved with organised crime like kidnapping, extortion, homicide, among other crimes.
Recapping the top story, the consumer price index has remained unchanged at 5.3% for August, the same as the month before.